Welcome to the Purchase Tracking System training video. Here we will go over the steps for requesting a purchase order. You will need to go ahead and access the Greystone Health Network intranet page. Once here, select the Employee Only option under the Resources. When you select this page, you will then be taken to the application site where you will go ahead and select Purchase Tracking System Office. When you go to the site, the first thing that will pop up is your new purchase request. This is the form that you complete when requesting a purchase order. Going through it, you will see the first area will be where you're going to add your facility, department, order type, as well as a description. The next field is where you're going to select your vendor and where you're going to upload your supporting documentation or quote. Once you've confirmed your vendor, you will add the details of your purchase order request. Below that, you will see the subtotals, shipping and handling, taxes, and installation charges that will authorize the vendor to proceed and move forward up to that dollar amount. Once you're done and you've confirmed it, you will go ahead and submit for approval. So starting out, I'm going to go ahead and complete this with the example of a quote and a service that I need. So I'm going to select my facility. I'm going to go ahead and put in my description. It is recommended that you go ahead and be descriptive here in this area because you may have to reference it in the future and you don't want to be just referencing or telling someone I'm looking for a bed or I'm looking for a wheelchair. So if you're able to put a vendor as well as your description or any other information that you feel that would be relevant and would help anyone reference it going forward. So we're just going to say wheelchair and leg rest. For this specific item, I'm requesting it for the nursing department. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my information. Even though it provides my email address, this will show up on the actual purchase order. Order type is where you're going to select the type of purchase order it's going to be. So for this example here, it's going to be a non-routine. On my quote, which we will view here in just a minute, my item is for under $500. Now, the definition of a non-routine is going to be one item under $500 or multiple items under $1,000. Now, on the opposite end of that is going to be a capital item or capital project. And what that is you're going to go ahead and if you're requesting an item, a product, or a service, and if it's one item and it's over $500, it's going to be a capital. If it's multiple items and it's over 1,000, you would go ahead and put a capital project. So for my example again, it's going to be a non-routine and I need to add wheelchairs and the leg rest as an addition. I will go ahead and save and proceed to the vendor after I've confirmed. Now my vendor is going to be McKesson. You will see that you actually have a variety of vendors here, and it's not an entire list of all of our vendors. If there's a vendor that is not listed here, you would select Other. Once you've selected Other, in this case, you would just go ahead and put the vendor name here and proceed moving forward. But because McKesson is in here, we move right to the supporting documentations option. So I'm going to take my quote and upload it, and then I'm going to add the vendor. This section here is where you would select the vendor that you choose to move forward with. So in the event that you are bidding out a product or service and you want to upload that information here, you may do so and then afterwards select the vendor that you're choosing to move forward with. Now with this case, McKesson is the only vendor that we've requested a quote for, so we're going to go ahead and move forward to adding the product information. So below you will see your item or service where you can put a description, your quantity, unit of measure, and unit price. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add this information in here. with detailed descriptions of the item. To save some time, I went ahead and added the products and services, well, in this case products, and here it will give me the total of each item as well as the subtotal. Now, with the example that I'm using, I went ahead and I'm just going to add an example for tax. So we can see that the subtotal and the total match. Once we add the tax, we go ahead and click the green button, calculate total. We see that it changes and it updates the amount. You see here, after we've confirmed that the amounts match our quote, you will go ahead and have the option to add some more information in here if you would like. I will caution and deter from you adding any specific information about a patient, including any other names, because this is information that will be given to the vendor. So once you've confirmed everything is accurate, save and proceed to submit for approval, and then you will go ahead and submit for approval. Confirm. After you've done this, it is now in the process of being approved by the authorizing people. And you can actually go to the Purchase Request Status and Approval tab to view those options. Here, we will go ahead and select our facility. This is already selected for us, and we actually see our example right here. Wheelchair and leg rest, $333.74. It was added today. If we move over, we can actually see the pending status, and we can see here it is waiting for the admin, which is your executive director. After the executive director, it goes to the RDO, corporate department head approval, and then finally purchasing. Now, for a non-routine item, COO approval is not necessary. It is only necessary for a capital item and or project. So when you went ahead and submitted when you've submitted your actual purchase order request, the system automatically generates an email to be sent to each one of these individuals. So right now the admin would have received the email for approving the wheelchair and leg rest. After they have approved it, the system will automatically generate an email to the RDO, and the same thing will happen for the corporate department head, purchasing, and the COO if necessary. So this is where you can go to reference and see the status of your request. If you notice here to the left, the numbers in red, this is actually your reference number. And this is important in the event that you ever needed to communicate with the purchasing department. You could utilize this number to ask for any updates, revisions, anything that you need to for your actual PO requests. Once your request has gone through all of the approval process, the next thing that will happen is the purchasing department will go ahead and issue a PO, and it will be sent to you as well as the facility ED. Once you receive the email, here's what the purchase order will look like. It will come in a PDF form. It will include your purchase order number up here on top, the date, the vendor information, your facility information, and the info that you put in about your product and or service, as well as the total. Here, as well as any special notes that you wanted to add, this one has some. The next page will also include the terms and conditions set forth for the use of the purchase order. When you receive this, please communicate with the vendor, submitting this to the sales rep so that they can move forward in processing your request for your items. To provide a recap, when determining the type of order that you are requesting, for one item, if it's under $500, it's a non-routine. If it's over $500, it's a capital. If there are multiple items, if it's under $1,000, it's a non-routine, and then it's over $1,000, it is a capital. It's important that you ensure that you attach your quote or supporting documentation. If it is not attached, purchasing will go ahead and reach out to you to request this information, and it will further delay the time frame in which you get your purchase order issued. Be descriptive in your product information. You do not want the vendor having to come back to you to ask for further clarification. This isn't really time effective for yourself on getting your product and or service in a timely manner. Make sure your spelling is correct. You don't, again, want a vendor questioning what it is that you're ordering. And when you issue your PO, be sure to confirm with the vendor that they reference that PO on all invoices and packing slips. To review the approval process again, for a capital item, it goes to your executive director, your RDO, corporate department head, the purchasing department, and then the COO. And then for non-routines, your executive director, RDO, corporate head, and then the purchasing department. Thank you for watching the Purchase Tracking System